Hello, and welcome back to another episode of the 6 a.m. Club where we start our day inspired. This week, I'm coming with a powerful quote for you that says, "Fight for your possibilities, not for your limitations." Let me repeat it one more time. Fight for your possibilities, not for your limitations. I am super excited for you to be here on another episode of the 6 a.m. Club as we dive into this fascinating topic. This is an area where I personally have to do a lot of work in my own life. I've been working on this for years, and I've learned to be aware of where my thoughts are and the stories that I tell to myself and to others. And I've noticed that sometimes my words and thoughts are focused on perceived or real limitations. And that, what it does is that it drains my energy that I could be dedicating to fighting for what is possible, fighting for the future that I want for myself, for that dream life that I want. One of the behaviors that we should avoid is making excuses or seeking a way out. These excuses often come up when we're talking about our goals. For example, I remember as I was about to start this podcast, when I was thinking about starting this podcast, I would have this internal dialogue in my head that would sound something like this. I want to start a podcast, but I'm not a very good speaker, and I don't know what I'm doing, and I really don't understand the technology, so I don't know if this is going to work for me. By me doing that, I was reinforcing my own limitations, and in my subconscious, I was giving myself permission not to achieve my goal of launching this podcast. When we do this, when you have dialogues or you tell yourself stories like the ones that I was telling myself a few years ago, what you're doing is that you're fighting for your limitations. Another way that we fight for our limitations is when we use the past as evidence of why our future is not possible. It doesn't mean you can't talk about your past, but you should do it from an empowering perspective. Ask yourself if your past story makes you feel less qualified or if it helps you see your past experiences, how they have prepared you for what is to come. That is a very important question to ask yourself, to check in as to from what perspective are you pulling into your past. Now, let's talk about what it sounds like when we are fighting for our possibilities. This means talking about our vision and how it excites us. The more you talk about your vision with enthusiasm, the more you'll attract the right people, the right opportunities, and the right circumstances. Talking about your vision can also sound like asking for support from people who can help you achieve it. And one last example. Instead of speaking about someone who has achieved the result that you are looking to achieve and speak about them negatively, try to swap this and speak positively and congratulate them for your success. Ask them, how did they do it? Learn from them. Nourish your mind with the belief that it's possible. Look at those people as examples of what is possible for you rather than using them as a way of you feeling insecure and envious. Here's the thing. Language and our thought patterns can be obstacles to achieve our goals. That's why it's essential that we're aware of our language and our thought patterns. When we become aware of them, we can consciously change the programming that we've been operating with. Many times, language patterns don't even reflect our current beliefs, but are patterns that we adopted from other people around us. Here we come to the part where I throw out a call to action. And the call to action at the end of this episode is to invite you to start becoming more aware of your language and your thought patterns. Noticing them is the first step in changing them. In what moments are you fighting for your limitations, and in what moments are you fighting for your possibilities? Become aware of those patterns and start rewiring your narrative. Before we say goodbye, remember, your words are powerful. They breathe life into your beliefs, and they largely determine your reality. So speak of what's possible instead of fighting your limitations. I want to thank you once again for joining me in this 6 a.m. episode. If this has inspired you, or if you have any questions, please reach out through our social media accounts. You can find me as Leading Yourself Podcast. If you found today's episode inspiring, share it with someone. These short episodes, I've been getting a lot of positive feedback that are really clicking, and they're really helping you, and you're really liking this format of our 6 a.m. club. So if you find today's podcast especially helpful, do me a favor and share it with someone, or share it in your social media account. And don't forget to tag me at Leading Yourself Podcast so I can shout you out as well. And remember, your words can be transformative force in your life. Until next time, have an amazing week. I'll see you here next Monday for another episode of the Leading Yourself Podcast.